All right, how you guys doing today? About to hop into the review of Proverbs chapter 23. This is part two. The first things first, I just want to make sure y'all like that video up, hit a little exit full screen, scroll a bit, like it, and then full screen it back up. You feel me? All right, so we left off in verse 6. Eat not the bread of him that has an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. Now, if you're like my age, you know that this ain't talking about that blue little evil eye, like the little emoji, the little necklace that the little girls be wearing, or whatever the case is, right? But more so, just dang, Duolingo just made my phone vibrate to an egregious amount. Anyway, but it means the evil eye so much as your eye is focused on the evil things, right? And that was what we spent so much time talking about last video, right? With somebody whose only desire in life is those evil things, such as money, right? Being a root of all kinds of evil things. It's not evil in and of itself, but it can lead to a lot of those things that we would classify as evil, right? So somebody whose eyes are constantly focused on evil, don't eat the bread of him that does that, nor desire thou his dainty meats, aka the things that he's going to eat, one, or just the things that he surrounds himself with in daily life, right? And we're told that what man puts into his body isn't what makes him impure, but what comes out of his body. Even though still, if you put impure things into your body, some bad's got to come out of it. Ain't that right? Anyway, verse 7, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, said he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. And this is just talking about people who don't have your best intention in life, right? For he that thinks in his heart, so is he. And it doesn't necessarily say in the commentary what this means, right? But we can see that there's a use of a colon here with the KJV. Don't desire his dainty meats, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he, right? It's talking about the evil eye. So as he desires these evil things in his heart, because his evil eye directs them to those types of things, so is he, right? Eye sees evil things, heart wants evil things, so is he an evil thing, right? Eat and drink, he's going to say to you, but his heart is not with you, right? He wants you to indulge in these things because once you've indulged in them, it's easier to grip and make sure that you stay there, right? Because the more you indulge, it's easier to just build an addiction, right? The easy people say abstinence is the best key, right? Abstinence is the way to save yourself 100% of the time, because if you don't indulge, you can't take any of the risk that goes along with it. No matter how safe something is, there's always risk associated with it. Like even our 100% surety in the gospel and Jesus Christ saving us, the risk that comes with it isn't of the next life, right? But it is of this life, saying we're going to get persecuted, saying that we're going to get hated and we're going to get X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, there's always risk that comes with something, right? So he's going to say to indulge in this stuff to build an addiction, because once you have it, it's going to go hard to it's going to be hard to not want to go back to it, right? And that's the problem we see with so many people nowadays, right? Hit that vape one time and now you're going back to it. Hit that vape one time, you want something stronger, you go into weed, you go from weed, you go to whatever else, coke, I don't know what else people be doing nowadays, but you know, more than that. And it's just like, come on, you did it once. Sure. But once you do it once, you're establishing these levels and you're on the bottom tier and you realize there's more. He's like, oh, you think this lamb is good? Wait till you have the chicken. You think the chicken good? Wait till you have the beef. Oh, you think the beef good? This ain't even the best cow I got, yo. Wait till you have that little ram, though. And all that type of stuff, right? He's building these things, and you're just like, I want more, and I want more. And it's like, well, once I had this, how can I go back to this? And if you in like the red pill kind of space, I don't want to take the video in that direction, right? Because a lot of people got their thoughts about it. But you see, like, that's what a lot of people see. They say, I had this one time, that's what I can get on a consistent basis. And that's not how that works. People that win the lottery one time, they typically don't win it again. One, they don't really play again, but two, even if they did, chances of them winning again are very, very low. Anyway, verse 8, the morsel which you have eaten shall you vomit up and lose your sweet words. And the commentary seems to say that whatever you eat with them, you know, it's valued in the moment, but later on you're going to realize this is bad, and i.e. you're going to throw it up, right? Because all this type of stuff is that it's what's the word? It's not a subjective, it's a picture, it's a metaphor, right? These things that you're eating and partaking in, it represents the life that that person's living, the desires that that person has. For a moment, it's going to seem good, but later on, you're going to realize that ain't really what we supposed to be doing. That's not the way we supposed to be going. And then you're gonna throw it up, realizing you gotta repent and come back from that, right? Because his heart is not with thee. Anyway, verse 9, speaking on the ears of a fool, for he would despise the wisdom of thy words. Pretty straightforward, right? Except for the fact that we are called to teach. Not all of us, but like to spread the good news, right? We're called to spread the good news. So even if somebody is a fool, right, don't speak longly in their ears, right? Don't constantly be telling them about the stuff that they ain't trying to hear about. But at the same point, extend that hand and let them know that you're there for them, regardless of the facts, right? Because really, they're just going to despise the wisdom. They're not going to care, and they're going to keep on pushing on until they realize you can't really push against a brick wall and expect to win. Even if you Ronnie Coleman, I don't care. Anyway, verse 10, remove not the old landmark and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. So remove not the old landmark. That's, we talked about this a couple of chapters ago. But if you didn't watch that video, basically saying the fathers established a landmark not to move it is to say that it was set up for a dumb reason or to not trust them. Or you're moving it trying to steal, and obviously stealing is not good. So that's that case. And enter not the fields of the fatherless. It says that, it needed special protection and care because, they have less family. So it's evil to enter their fields to try to take something from it because they couldn't protect it as well. So yeah, don't steal from the fatherless, the orphans and that. They're the special case that the Bible has always said to maintain and protect. And, it's a little piece of church history. So they say. I have never fact checked this, right? But they say that the first orphanages were established by the church. I don't know how true that is. I think they said the first hospitals too. I'm not 100% sure on either of those. Hospitals, I'm a little less lenient towards, but orphanages, I can believe. For the Redeemer is mighty, he shall plead their cause with thee. And this is basically just saying if you steal from the orphanage, guy gonna show you how much of a dad they really got, right? You don't got a dad, I can steal from you. Just you wait to see who my dad really is. Wait till you see that. He gonna come down, bring that sword out his mouth, sharper than any two-edged sword, cutting through that bone and that marrow. You hear me? Anyway, verse 12. Apply thine ears, or my bad, thine heart unto instruction, and thine ears to the words of knowledge, like we've been told to do so many times in this book. Verse 20, or verse 13, withhold not correction from the child. If you beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Discipline your kids. You beat them, they're not gonna die. But if you beat them, they're gonna learn a little something. You know what I'm saying? Verse 14, thou shalt beat him with the rod, you shall deliver his soul from hell. Whoosh. Verse 15, my son, if thine heart be wise, my heart shall rejoice, even mine. Straightforward. Verse 16, yes, my reins shall rejoice when thy lips speak right things. Straightforward. Verse 17, let not thine heart envy sinners, but be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long. Right? Don't envy these sinners. Don't look at their life and say, I want that. I wish I could be doing that, right? I'm not gonna lie. I fall victim into that. Sometimes sometimes I haven't thought this actually in a long time. In the way I'm about to say it, but other thoughts are kind of like it. I used to think it must be so nice not believing in God because you can just go do all this and all that. I used to think that on a regular basis when I see my friends acting a fool because I'm just like, must be nice not to feel the conviction of doing all this buffoonery all the time and having a grand old time and laughing and smiling all the time. And I'm sitting over here looking like I can't do that. God don't want that for me. I used to think that on a regular basis. Now it's just kind of like, I can't do that. Conviction. It's not as serious. But back then I used to be like, it must be nice not to want to follow God. And that's crazy thought. I ain't gonna lie. But we being honest here. Anyway, so don't envy them. Be you in the fear of the Lord all the day long. And that's just like what's the word? I can't even think of the word I want to use. But a sense of reverence, right? Fear is like a sense of reverence. So scared. You got so much fear that it's reverence. You respect them so much. Kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I can't really explain it right now. But maybe another time. Verse 18. For surely there's an end, and your expectation shall not be cut off. And earlier when I said 100% certainty in the truth, surely there's an end. Your expectation, it'll be far surpassed, right? No eye has seen, no heart has imagined the things that he has prepared for those who love him. Right, and that's one of those verses that give me comfort, right? No eye has seen, no heart has imagined. You can't even imagine what God has prepared for us, right? And that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Imagine he had something prepared for us. Somebody imagine he was like, dang it. Now I gotta come up with something else. So anyway, verse 19. Hear thou, my son, be wise, guide thine heart in the way. Easy. Verse 20, be not a mind among the wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh. Pretty straightforward. Don't be with them sippers of that wine. You know what I'm saying? They giving too much to wine, right? Drinking wine in and of itself, is not inherently sinful. But if you bibbing on that wine, if you sipping that strong drink, as they said back in that time, be not among them, or them riotous eaters of flesh. I don't even know what an eater of flesh is. Are you talking cannibalistics? They got cannibalisms back then. More so, it's just talking about the people that overconsume. They be eating a lot. Not even. Let me not say that. Anyway, verse 21. Drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and the drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Basically saying if you lazy too, right? The drunk man, glutton man, you won't be broke. And if you lazy, you gonna wear them rags. You ain't gonna have no drip, sir. You're not gonna have no drip. The self-indulgent are reduced to destitution due to the drowsiness that accompanies an addiction to wine and overeating. Oh, my bad. So not even if you're lazy, but just the laziness that comes with being drunk all the time and being full all the time. So there you have it. All right, that's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you guys have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.